Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to yet again another Real Talk episode here on the Real Talk. We are talking all things HIV treatment adherence, getting to you equals you. I am your host, Luwumbe Jeremiah Mulanda from the Zambian Youth Platform, and thank you so much for joining us on this lovely, hot, sunny afternoon here in Lusaka, Zambia, where I am currently. Thank you also to all our cooperating partners who help bring this show, UNAIDS and the Churches Health Association of Zambia. Remember, you can send us your questions, your comments, or your contributions here live on the show via our Facebook and Insta and YouTube channels, rather, and we will be able to read the questions to our guests here today. So remember to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell another friend that the Real Talk is back on Friday, 2 p.m. Central African time, and we are discussing all things HIV treatment adherence. Today, I am joined by two seasoned, lovely, very intelligent ladies who are going to help me digest this very, very important topic. Remember, we are discussing HIV treatment adherence, getting to you equals you, and we continue encouraging you to send our questions, our comments, all your contributions, and we will be able to read them on this show. I will allow them to introduce themselves, starting with Stella, the advocate. Stella, please introduce yourself and tell us where you're coming from and where you are currently.
Hello, viewers. If we program here, I'm Stella, the advocate on the social media platforms, but I'm Stella Mbanga, an HIV activist, and I'm currently in Chiluvi on the island in Northern Province.
Beautiful, great stuff. Thank you so much, Stella, for joining us. We hope that the great island is doing okay on this lovely afternoon. Chilufia, please also introduce yourself and tell us where you're coming from and where you are currently.
Hi, everyone, and very grateful to be here and for hosting me. I'm Chilufia Hampongo. I work for Treatment Advocacy and Literacy Campaign here in Lusaka. I'm based in Lusaka at the Secretariat for Treatment Advocacy and Literacy Campaign. I'm an HIV prevention advocacy officer there. I sit on a number of boards for professional work in the HIV space. For example, the African Women HIV Accountability Board. I also sit on the injectable, long-acting injectable PrEP Coalition Accountability Board. I also sit on the VIV Healthcare Board. Just to mention a few, I'm a seasoned advocate, advocating for the rights of young women especially. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chilufia, for joining us. And what you viewers might not know is that Chilufia and I are related. So all of those fancy things she was saying that she does, I get it from her. I hope that you understand now. So thank you so much for joining us this lovely afternoon. A reminder to everyone who's tuned in into the show, you can send us your questions, your comments, or your contributions, and we will be able to read them here on the show. We are discussing all things HIV treatment adherence, getting to you equals you. I think to kickstart the conversation, Chilufia, do you mind shedding more light on what you equals you mean? Like, what are these you and you? What do they mean, and how did they perhaps also come about?
Thank you, Jeremiah. So U is equal to U actually stands for, the first U is undetectable and the second U is untransmittable. So when we talk U is equal to U, we're simply talking about making sure that when someone is on treatment and they are adherent to treatment, they are not able to transmit the virus to the next person. Simply put. Thank you.
I like that so much. So the first U to our viewers means it's undetectable. The virus is undetectable. It can't be detected. Then, because of the virus not being detectable, meaning it can't be transmitted. And this is why you hear, different people talking about us getting to U equals U. Now, having established that, I'll come to you, Stella. What is HIV treatment adherence? What does this statement entail?
Okay, so adherence, according to us who are on treatment, this is when you respond positively to treatment, you attain a suppressed viral load, and you're following the steps which you've been told to follow from the specialists that we see at these health institutions. Yeah, when you follow the instructions on taking the ad, as well as keeping the viral load suppressed, I believe that is what I would call adherence.
Thank you so much, Stella. I like how you have mentioned that HIV treatment adherence is when you positively, there's that positive shift in, how you respond to the treatment. So when you are taking your medication, if there's that positive shift, there's that positive impact. Because mind you, some people will take the drugs, but they might not be able to positively respond. Now, up to you, Chilufya. What are some of the key benefits of adhering to HIV treatment in terms of achieving and maintaining U equals U in relation to viral load?
So can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So just like Stella mentioned, when you are living positively, it's actually easier for you to get to undetectable or reach what we are calling untransmittable, because you've been able to remain adherent to treatment and take your medicines dedicatively, and making sure that you have a balanced diet, to sum it up, because you can't take medication without having a proper diet, because medication will work so effectively when you're also on a proper diet.
Thank you so much. I like how you have, begun the conversation by talking about what we take in, so the food that we eat, ensuring that, we have a healthy, balanced diet will be of benefit as we take these drugs. Now, I'll come to you, Stella. What are some of the other benefits that exist around adhering? So I know there are young people out there who are thinking, you know what will be my benefit if I adhere to the medication that I'm taking?
Okay, so firstly, as it has been said, you attend the U equals U, where you become untransmittable, and you won't be able to transmit the virus to anyone, regardless of the situation that you find yourself in. So another thing that you're going to benefit is that it's going to improve your way of life. Most bifilakula batsingatawule n'omuti limbi viral load lipansi, whereas wala kwatotuma opportunistic infections tulanga twakwingila, you won't have that power yakobati ukachite ama cells yakachinze kajaka opportunistic infection gakaisa. So when your viral load is suppressed, you'll be able, the cells in your body will be able to fight that kama infection, and you won't get ill. You won't be bedridden, whatever be healthy, and no one is going to notice to say this person is HIV positive or this person is on ART or anything like that. And then it will also boost your self-confidence when we know, because you know that you can't pass it on. wala kwata ila confidence yako that you can even have friends. You can have friends, you can interact with anyone, because you know that no matter what is going to happen, I won't be able to transmit it to anyone. You can even have that confidence to open up to other people, be it your families, be it your partners, friends, and every other person. When you're virally suppressed, you have that confidence because you even have a backup, Now what tapari noto dating kwambukishe, even if you're going to laugh at me or anything, in a dating kwambukishe because my viral load is suppressed. And then yeah, I think those two are the cardinal ones.
Thank you so much. We have a comment coming from Facebook from Mark, and he comes through and says, yes, when someone living with HIV adheres to medication, the HIV virus will remain dormant, which later on leads to U equals U, which is undetectable equals to untransmittable. Thank you so much, Mark, for coming through. Remember, you can also send us your questions, your comments, or your contributions, and we will be able to read them here on the show. If you are just joining us, we are discussing all things HIV treatment adherence, getting to U equals U. Now, I like what Chinufia and Stella, you've mentioned about, the benefits. And I think what I'm getting from this is that the benefits of adhering to HIV treatment are both, psychological and very much physical. You notice physical changes in your well-being, you become fit, you are able to do, different sports, for example. And then also your psychological well-being, your mental well-being, you are very, very good up there as well. You build that self-esteem and that self-confidence. Now, I know that you both work with young people. So I'll start with you, Chinufia. What are some of the common challenges young people in particular, before we generalize it, young people in particular face when trying to adhere to their HIV treatment, and how can these challenges be addressed?
Jeremiah, I just wanted to add also on the benefits of adhering to medication is also the simplified management from the healthcare system. So it is very important to note that the benefits also are not only at a personal level, but also making it easier for healthcare providers to take care of your needs as an individual. So firstly, I would like to say working with young people is not cast in stone. They have various needs and they are diverse. But among the challenges that I've come across, firstly, the inconsistent adherence. So this is as a result of maybe, for example, young people who are born with HIV. Sometimes it becomes very difficult for them to remain on treatment. Sometimes it could be attributed to the pill burden. They are tired of taking medication, and as such, sometimes they feel they need to take a break from taking the pills. And not only that, there is also unplanned disclosure. So there are times when guardians take it lightly that they can just disclose the status of a young person and it wouldn't hurt, but it hurts. The truth is, it hurts, and that can be very damaging to their mental well-being, and also can harm their, zeal to take treatment. And not only that, there is also treatment interruption. Sometimes transitioning from pediatric to adolescence can be a challenge, or to adulthood. And as such, there are certain young people who at times interrupt treatment because they feel unsure whether they need to continue taking treatment or not. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Stella, you are a young person, you work with young person, different types of people. What are some of the challenges that you notice, young people and people in general face when it comes to HIV adherence treatment?
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, I would say I'm one of those young people that we are talking about, and I understand fully what we go through. Regardless of how we got the virus, there's always that stage where it just clicks to us to say, limbi kuti napireka pe, limbi tapaino po mti ulenga fwa, and all that. There are those, and just like Chilupe has stated, there's also self-stigma. We stigmatize ourselves. We don't know what other people think about us, because there's always kaliaka kubati but we don't know what other people really think, and that leads to us now stigmatizing ourselves. We imprison ourselves, and then by that we also live in denial. Yeah, it's not easy for us to accept. You could have accepted at some point, but because of now, maybe even change of environment, you find that maybe you start deteriorating in your consistency of taking your meds. So those are some of the challenges, especially the peer pressure that comes with it. When you've got all the friends and let's say bonse badishwa status yabo badishwa they are negative, and then here you are, deep down that you're positive. How are you going to tell it to your friends when they are speaking ill about people who are HIV positive, and then you don't even have that courage to defend yourself? So I think it also adds to poor adherence, where we get to awelela panuma mukunama meds because we probably want to impress our peers. Yeah.
Mm. I like that so much. And thank you so much to you both for shedding a light, and also Stella for sharing your own personal experience. And I know that, the problems are magnitude, but what are some of the ways we can begin to address some of these challenges? In relation, for example, to stigma and discrimination, Chilufia, what are some of the ways that we can continue to, speak about or find better ways of dealing with some of these challenges that are causing a lack of HIV treatment adherence?
I think it's very important. Firstly, Stella mentioned about self stigma. So, when you talk about self stigma, it's the internal stigma that a person is experiencing. It will be very important from the healthcare providers to take initiative
Sorry, viewers, I think we lost Chilufia there. But while Chilufia is trying to connect, Stella, do you mind just coming in and shedding a light from your own lived experience when we talk about self stigma? What is the best way to be able to overcome self stigma?
Well, it's not easy. It's not easy to overcome self-stigma because it's something that is within you. Mostly you fail to come out, you fail to share it with anyone else. So I think maybe by slowly accepting, I think acceptance is just the best, because when you accept, no matter what someone is going to say about you being HIV positive, it won't hurt you because you've accepted that's you, and it's just about you and how you live your life after testing positive. So I think acceptance has really helped me on a personal level. Personally, acceptance helped me because as at now, no one can come and shut me down because of my HIV status. No one can say bad about being HIV positive when I'm there. Even if I'm not the person they're referring to, I'll be able to stand up for that person because I have accepted that is me. It's just about me and my meds and how I live my life. Yeah.
Chilufia, do we have you back? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please finish your thought.
Apologies, there was an interruption in the system. I think my laptop just collapsed.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's no power, unfortunately. So as I was saying, the internal stigma is something that needs to start with a person. But how do we get to a person to fully accept their status? Is only also the involvement of healthcare providers by taking interest in that individual and providing enhanced adherence. Because when you counsel someone adequately, with time, they should be able to accept their status and be able to live positively. So it is very important that we keep addressing stigma in various ways, and the strategies that we can use to address stigma are not cast in stone because individuals differ. It could be the person is stigmatizing him or herself because of the environment where they are living in. So it's also very important that we tailor strategies that can actually cater for the needs of different individuals. Thank you.
Mm. I agree with you, Chilufia, 100% that it's important to have diversity as we, design these interventions to tackle some of these problems, especially with regards to the young people. You can't have one generic solution and say this is going to work for the young people. Thank you so much. Victoria Nakanika from Facebook comes through and says, this is a great topic, team. Also, just an addition, U=U emphasizes the critical role of HIV treatment adherence in both improving the health of individuals living with HIV and preventing the transmission of the virus to their sexual partners as well as other people around them. Thank you so much, Vic. Keep those comments coming, questions and contributions. You can reach us on YouTube at the Zambian Youth Platform and on Facebook as well at the Zambian Youth Platform. Today I'm joined by Chilufia and Stella, who are helping me understand and digest HIV treatment adherence, getting to U=U. Now, Stella, I'll come to you again. How often should individuals living with HIV get their viral load checked to confirm whether they are undetectable? I know someone out there is thinking, you know what, maybe I'm fit, I can even play football, I have been eating well, so I don't need to go to the hospital. What is your advice to such individuals?
Okay, thank you for that one. Nga waishi bati waliba HIV positive. It is important to know your well-being. Your well-being is not just about what you eat or drinking your meds. It's also about diet, and it's also about your physique, So even tupile twaishibe pile chitika in our blood, because I know that I am HIV positive. Now, how am I controlling the viruses that are in my blood? I cannot know by looking. Maybe because I've gained weight, adawe limbi nijtana nkani my VO is suppressed or what? No. The only way we can know is by having our viral load test. And apopo ya isaba. But every 3 months, every 3 months, every 3 months. But for now, if your VO has been consistently suppressed, you have to visit your healthcare provider every year. They tell us to go there every year. Yeah, like for me, I go in January. And then for those that have got a high viral load, then they go every 3 months, because even the healthcare providers need to know how you're adhering to treatment, how the treatment is, how you're responding to the treatment as well.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that, Stella. You continue to shed light on, your lived experience, some of these issues. Now, for some individuals, we just get to talk about these issues, but having someone who goes through the issues that we are discussing, here every day, just brings a whole different perspective to the conversation. Now, in your own experience, again, Stella, if you don't mind sharing with us, what are some of the experiences that you've had with regards to HIV treatment adherence? Share with us any good or bad experiences that you've had.
I'll start with the bad. For the bad experience, when I was once a defaulter. By default, I mean nadirekera okunywa omuti. I completely gave up on drinking my meds because I was finding it hard to accept. So part of the bad nankani, then my VL went high, it went high, nasakwatapuna 3,000 plus copies. And I was hurt because mostly for me, since I opened up because I didn't have anyone to talk to, and I believed talking to someone in my situation would help me a lot, which it has. So I stopped taking my meds almost about 3 months, and I not only lost weight, I also lost a lot of things, a lot of opportunities, because I couldn't manage, I was weak, failure. Yeah. So that's part of the bad adherence. And then for the good adherence, nokubutuka kuka cha bwino vya karubiro twabutukapo twalepo anokwea kubusoja. Unfortunately tiasa kaninkana pe. So yeah, the good adherence is good, and when people meet me I tell them about my status. They say no, you're just lying, maybe you just want to talk on their behalf, you just want to be their voice. I'm like, yeah, I want to be their voice, but also an example to say if you adhere to treatment, you can be so good that no one will be able to notice to say this person is HIV positive, which is a plus for us. I won't be able to transmit the virus to you, and you won't be able to prove that I'm HIV positive by looking at me. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stella. And just as you were, digesting that information, King Sean from YouTube just says, "I love the way Stella is coming out." So I know that just by the way you're sharing your experiences, you are motivating a magnitude of young people out there who are unable to come out freely in spaces like these ones and speak out. And we encourage them that when they are ready, they be able to share their stories of change because they are inspirational to many other young people. Now, I'll come to you, Chilufia. I know that you work with a lot of young people at Treatment for Advocacy Literacy campaign. What are some of the experiences you've had, good or bad, working with young people in relation to HIV adherence?
As earlier alluded to, even by Stella, sometimes my young people find pills to be a burden, and at times they tend to stop, taking treatment, and also even just the self stigma that Stella has spoken about, and then also just the discrimination that comes with knowing your status, especially when it is disclosed unplanned and in the presence of some of the people that you wouldn't want to know. Those experiences, when you listen to them, actually make young people not to continue adhering to treatment. And then um, among the good things that are there is I have very vibrant young people who have remained on treatment despite being tired, but because of having, pill buddies, people that they can talk to, the support groups in the health facilities where they go, and just also having a supportive environment at home has been very effective for them, and it has helped them to remain, on treatment, and not only remain on treatment, but to be champions for remaining on treatment and equally helping other young people to be adherent to treatment. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, before I let you go, you have actually touched on the other question that I had for you, and it is what resources and support services are available to assist people in their journey towards U equals U and HIV treatment adherence. I know that you've already spoken to some, but please just elaborate on some of those, and also where the people can find those services or resources.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremiah. That's a very important question, especially for this discussion today. So it is very important to know that we need to be there and hold each other's hands, especially on the journey for treatment. So having support groups plays a very important role. And this is not an abstract statement, but this has proven to work. You can imagine how we've gotten to where we are now as a country is as a result of the support groups of people living with HIV. When people are in support groups, it becomes very easy for them to encourage each other and also to check on each other and give each other support. Secondly, in a home where you have a pill buddy, sometimes it cannot only be in a home, but also just in friendships, it becomes very easy because there'll be someone to actually remind you that you need to take treatment. Apart from that, this time we have what is called e-health, electronic health reminders that can actually be set. For example, at TAUC, we have what is called End AIDS Portal. It's a project which aims at encouraging or sending reminders to people who needs to go and collect maybe their medication or send a reminder when their clinical visits are up. And that is one good example that could work, especially for those people who forget easily when they're supposed to go on treatment. And the last one that I would talk about is enhanced adherence from the counselors themselves. Quality adherence, counseling is very important. So when you counsel a client consistently and it is enhanced, it becomes very easy to convince the client to actually remain on treatment, and leading to you is equal to you. Thank you.
I like that so much. And especially, I get excited when I hear technological advancements to do with health. I like the e-health very, very much because it just brings, a different perspective. Now, I'll come to you, Stella, the advocate. What are some of the resources and services that are available in Chilubi where you are? I have lost Stella, the advocate. I hope that she joins back as soon as possible. But if you are just joining us, we are discussing HIV treatment adherence. Getting to you equals you. Chilufia is back. Chilufia, I was just saying that I do get excited when I hear, technological advancements to do with health. And when I start hearing things like e-health, for example, I get excited because we are living in a digital world, in a technical world, and young people get excited with these innovations. So that's a very, very good innovation that you have put up at DAOC. Even as we try and get Stella the advocate back, okay, she's here now. So Stella was saying, what are some of the resources and services that are available in Chilubi where you are and in general rural areas around Zambia?
Okay, so for Chilubi, there's not much really, although we've got youth-friendly spaces, but they're not for youth, I would say. Mostly abasangwako nibala bakwati bakulu, and it was just an initiative by NZP Plus. Yeah. So mostly it's the elderly people that are found there. We don't have youth-friendly corners, but we've got some counselors who take it upon themselves to deliver the drugs to the clients. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stella. And we are getting towards the end of the conversation, Stella. Now, as an advocate, as a young person who's living with HIV and AIDS, what is the take-home message that you want the viewers to leave out of this conversation? What is that one message that young people are supposed to remember from this very important conversation, from your point of view?
Okay, thank you very much. As a young person, actually, twakwata mentality yako bati ati balireko kutina ukulwala HIV balatina mafumo, something like that. But one thing I would like to tell you as a person, not only as an advocate, but as someone who is living with the virus, it's not easy to live with the virus. That is why we encourage other people to prevent themselves from getting the virus, because the period in which I accepted might not be the period in which you accept. How I took it might not be the way that you took it, regardless of however you're going to get the virus. So the best is just to prevent. Like mostly on my page, I always emphasize on condomizing, because I know that, okay, bayuthi popo tuava test tuikontrole vambi tulafira okuikontrolola vambi tulafira okuchita abstain. So it's best you just condomize, as I always say, because you can't stop someone from doing something, especially when it's already out there and everything, but you can always tell that person to prevent themselves from acquiring the virus. Not only the virus, but if you have STIs and every other sexually transmitted infection. So from me, Stella, to everyone out there, it's keep safe, especially that tuingira nombana mu weekend, please condomize. Thank you.
Yeah. I can see Chiluvia smiling. I know that you've just hit the nail on its head, and that's a very, very important message right there, Stella the advocate. Please follow her on all social media platforms so that you stay up to date with the work that she's doing. But the most important thing, my friends out there, this mentality of fearing pregnancy more than HIV should stop once and for all, because as you've heard from a lived experience, it is not easy to live with HIV. The acceptance period, adhering to treatment, all of those issues come into play, but you can be able to practice safer sex. And if you get infected with the virus, please ensure that you adhere to treatment. Chilufia, what is your take-home message from this very, very insightful conversation?
This conversation has come at the right time, especially when we are on the journey to U is equal to you. I love the fact that we're having conversations centered on young people, because when you look at the statistics right now, it is very worrisome to see the numbers of young people getting infected every day. So young people, please use protection. We have some options that are there. I know not all the options might actually appeal to you, but please, if you can, use the options that are available so that you can remain negative. And for those that are already on treatment, please, we are here to hold your hands and also to help you remain adherent to treatment, and we'll support you all the way. And you are stronger. And being positive doesn't define you. You can actually live a very positive life and rise, and you are capable of achieving all your dreams. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much to Chilufia and Stella for joining me today on this very, very important discussion. We were discussing all things HIV adherence, getting to you equals you. But before I close the show, I have a comment from Facebook from Christian, who comes through and says, "You equals you is how you can reduce your chances of passing HIV on. It will allow you to have a relationship with someone who is not HIV positive." Thank you so much, Christian, for coming through with that comment. Thank you so much to Chilufia and Stella once again for joining me on this very, very real topic where we were discussing HIV adherence, getting to you equals you. Please continue doing the marvelous work that you both are doing. And Stella, please continue inspiring and motivating many other young people to adhere to their treatment. Special thanks go to our supporting partners, UNAIDS and the Churches Health Association of Zambia, for making this conversation possible. Until next time, until yet again we have another real conversation on the Real Talk, I have been your host, Luwembe Jeremiah Malanda. See you again next week, Friday, 2 p.m. Central African time on this particular platform. Bye-bye.